You ever think about how much of life is just random, or is there something more to it? Today, we're going to dig into a really powerful story that untangles these invisible threads of luck, crisis, and the absolutely wild connections that shape our lives. So, the story kicks off with a feeling that I bet a lot of us can relate to. You know that moment. You're doing everything right, your career's finally taking off, everything's going according to plan, and then bam, you just hit a wall out of nowhere. I mean, how does that even happen? One minute you are flying high, you're on top of the world. And the next, it feels like the engine just cuts out. All the things that used to work, they just don't anymore. You're not soaring, you are just completely and utterly stuck. And that really brings us to the core riddle we're tackling today. Is life something that just happens to us? Or is it something that happens because of us? How much of it is pure dumb luck, and how much is our own grit? Well, the story we're going to break down today gives us two very different lives, and they're connected in a way that just might give us an answer. All right, so first up, let's meet our writer. This guy, he is the classic example of someone who seems to have won the cosmic lottery. I mean, his whole success story feels like it was written for him, and it just landed right in his lap with almost zero effort. Just look at this timeline. This wasn't some slow, steady climb to the top. No, this was like a perfect domino effect of good fortune. His manuscript just happens to pass from one right person to the next, a total cascade of lucky breaks, each one pushing him higher and higher, and it all seems so effortless, right? But here's the crazy part. Here's the paradox. All that success, which he sees as nothing more than pure luck, that becomes a very thing that triggers this deep, creative crisis. He starts to wonder, did I even earn this? Or was I just a passenger on some lucky trip that I wasn't even steering? Now, for any artists or creators out there listening, this probably sounds painfully familiar. It is classic imposter syndrome. The higher you climb, the more you're convinced you're a total fraud. He even has a name for it, vertigo in heights. The success itself is making him dizzy with self-doubt, just waiting for it all to come crashing down. Okay, so now let's flip the coin. Let's meet our other character. Because while the writer was just floating along on this sea of good luck, our actress, well, she was busy learning how to build her own boat. Her story is the polar opposite. It's not about passive luck at all. It's about active, hard-won resilience. Look at the verbs on this slide. She moved, she connected, she knew the lines, she seized the opportunity. She got hit with loss and setbacks, for sure, but at every single turn, she was the one actively finding or, creating her own way forward. And this quote, this sums up her whole philosophy perfectly. It's such a huge contrast to the writer, isn't it? She gets it. Luck isn't just something you sit around and wait for. It's something you have to go out and meet halfway. She put herself in the position to be lucky. So here we are. We've got these two people, and their lives are already connected in ways they have no idea about. One guy is in a total crisis, born from having too much easy success. The other is living a dream she built with her own two hands. And this is the exact moment their two very different worlds are about to collide. Okay, and this is where the story gets really, really good. This is the moment. Those invisible threads that have been connecting these two strangers all along, they finally pull tight. And we get to see just how much our lives can ripple out and affect people in ways we could never, ever imagine. If you're a student of human connection or just fascinated by how life works, this meeting is a textbook case of serendipity. It's not just a random accident. It's chance that suddenly has meaning. Think about it. The writer is totally lost, and the one person in the world who can give him the perspective he needs just happens to show up right at his front door. And this is the absolute gut punch of a reveal. The book, his creation, the very thing he's doubting and thinks was just a fluke, it was her lifeline. The book that he felt was just unearned luck was the thing that gave her the strength to get up and go make her own luck. Can you imagine hearing that? This revelation has to completely reframe everything for him. His so-called luck is suddenly transformed from just a random string of happy accidents into something with real, tangible purpose. His work wasn't just some fluke. It was literally a beacon for someone. It was the light she needed to find her way through her own darkest times. So just when we think we've got it all figured out, right? Human connection saves the day. It's the cure for his crisis. The story throws one last curveball at us. A final, fascinating riddle in the form of a powerful metaphor that kind of makes you question everything all over again. The package. The whole reason she's at his door, the catalyst for this entire life-changing meeting. There's nothing in it. The box is completely empty. The physical thing at the very center of this incredible moment is just a void. And her response to this, it is just perfect. She doesn't explain it. It's more like an invitation. She takes his whole obsession with luck and throws it right back at him, but she twists the meaning. She's basically asking him to look at that emptiness not as a failure, not as an absence, but as a possibility. So, what is the real gift of the empty box? I mean, yeah, on one level, it's a perfect mirror for his own creative emptiness, but it's also a blank slate, isn't it? A fresh start. The ultimate gift she gives him isn't an answer, it's a new way of looking at the question. It leaves us wondering, maybe true luck isn't about what we're given. Maybe it's about learning to see the incredible potential in what we already have, or even in the empty spaces we're given to fill for ourselves.